What's up, guys? Welcome back to Titan Podcast. Today, as you can tell from like the thumbnail and the title, we have a very, very special guest, and she's none other than the Minister for Communications and Information, Minister Josephine Teo.
Thank you, Amanda.
Welcome. Thank you for coming down. So, it's been 1 year since we last saw you, since you last visited.
Flies.
You can tell we have a new podcast studio. Yes,
That's right. This studio was not like that.
yeah. It did not look.
Yeah, we built this just for the podcast.
Yeah.
We built it just
for you. Just for you.
I'm just
kidding. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So, how have you been? How has everything been?
I think it's a good year.
It's a good year.
2022, right? I mean, now when we look at the busy streets, and people are happy, they are organizing their family get-togethers, see friends are going out, and then I hear about, folks who are traveling also. So I think we've come a long way, so it's a good year.
Yeah.
everything is great except the traffic now.
Yeah.
That's true. I think we all kind of wish that it was
But
quieter.
but it's been a while since like the festive spirit has been so festive.
Yes.
Because like now Denise is like, what is this girl talking about?
I agree.
Like the energy is so different compared to the last few years. Like Christmas, you can have like Christmas gatherings now. People can literally go in one big crowd to Orchard Road to look at the Christmas lights.
You are absolutely right. I think we have a lot to be grateful for.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly for me, work-wise, 2022, I think we got quite a lot done. Yeah. If I were to just, think about it chronologically, round about April, we had a big debate in Parliament. This was the very first time that actually in Singapore's history there was a white paper on women's development. So of course, Denise, Amanda, ourselves, we all care about Singapore that
of course
looks after women even better than before, right? So that was kind of interesting because I moved the motion.
Yes.
It sounds very bad, but the
Sorry,
motion
you
is
what?
So you move the motion in Parliament. Basically, you move the motion to debate.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
to
push
debate
it
a
and
topic.
drive it.
Oh yeah, it doesn't sound
drive
bad.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound bad.
Yeah. But it was a very good debate. It was
Great.
marathon. I think it lasted 10.5 hours.
Oh wow.
Oh, that
Wait,
was the
you-
one.
That was
yeah,
the
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
I watched it on. I think they live stream it or they post it on the website.
Yes, because there is live streaming of Parliament proceedings.
Yes.
Right.
Seriously,
Yes.
Denise.
Yeah, I do watch it. I find it
Yeah.
very entertaining.
She's really like that.
We
She's really like this.
Well, Parliament, we don't think of it as entertaining,
Oh,
but
I can imagine the stress. Yeah.
it was good. And then middle of the year, we also had, I think for the first time, something that that's very important to me. Because you keep talking about digitalization.
Yes.
There are folks like yourself, no problem. You are digital natives. But then there are people who actually find it quite difficult. They find it quite stressful.
Yeah.
So for the first time, we introduced what we call the Digital for Life Festival. And the whole idea was to get people to learn more about digital technologies and what they can do for them, and not to be so stressed by it. So Digital for Life, as a movement, started maybe by now nearly 2 years. But for the first time, we had a festival that brought all of these ideas to the heartlands and got a lot of people sort of
Involved. Yeah.
trying out, including seniors.
Yes.
including-
Hands-on, right?
Hands-on, and including parents who are a little bit, confused about what their children are doing online. So that was really nice. Then back to Parliament in November was a really nice way to close off the year. We were able to move a bill, meaning that we got a bill passed.
Yeah, okay. I get it. Okay.
Yes,
I get it. I have one question.
Yes, this was on online safety.
Yes.
Something that
Yes.
we should have a concern about. We feel very safe walking
Yes.
in the streets at even at night,
Yeah.
for us ladies. But online, if you ask Singaporeans, roughly 80% of them say that they have concerns about, the kinds of stuff that they encounter online.
Yes.
So there's a big disparity.
Yes.
So it was important that we move this bill. So
Yes.
that's kind of like 2022.
Yeah, and this bill will be something we'll be talking about a little bit more, a little bit later. But I think Can I just ask, what do you think is the highlight of your 2020? If
She
you could
just
pick
named
one.
like 10.
Yeah, but one
personally.
one personally, like maybe with family or like friends or like.
Oh, I can tell you that. Sorry, I know my kids are a bit more grown up. Of my 3 kids, 1 has graduated. And so we went for graduation. Not everyone was able to go, but I was really. I think it's a moment. You know, it's like, oh, 孩子长大了. You know, kids are now grown up. Suddenly you feel lighter. You know, like my responsibilities have been discharged. Yay! Now they're on their own. Well, it's only 1 out of 3 lah.
Okay.
The other 2 on the way.
On the way.
Are you close with your kids?
Very. We are. You know, my husband is also very close to them.
Okay.
And I think part of the reason is because when they were much younger, I was already in public life. So that actually, I think, is a blessing in disguise, because I think it created a lot of room for my husband to become an active participant in parenthood. And I think I feel very grateful that even at this age, they are in their early to mid-20s. If we say that we want to get together as a family, I think there's still a lot of enthusiasm. It's not like, oh, you know, oh, mom, please, sorry, you know. So that's something to be grateful for.
Yeah.
And you know, it brings to mind when, like, my son, first, he's the eldest. So many years ago, you know, when first sent him to P1, at that time, I also remember thinking to myself, oh, 我的宝贝长大了.
Yeah.
But now, actually, the sister graduated first, so because of NS 嘛. So actually, I have the same feeling. Oh, 我的孩子长大了. You know,
I think the feeling will keep repeating.
Yeah.
And
I
then once he
know,
gets
yeah.
married,
I
it will
think so,
come
yeah.
again.
And then
I
when they
hope
have their
that
own
happens.
kids, then you will again.
Oh yeah, my孩子长大了.
then 我孩子的孩子也长大。
Yeah, something like that lah. Yeah,
Nice,
that's a good
nice.
feeling. Good feeling.
Beautiful. We all see how hard ministers work. We all see, we see online, we see on the news, and it seems like you guys just don't take a break at all. So I would say you talk about family a lot. So what do you do in leisure with your family?
Actually, not very different from what many people would do. It's just chill out, you know, look for friends. You know, can we go get a cup of coffee, and just to catch up. I personally have always felt that this is very important. Even when I entered public life, I reminded myself that because my schedule is going to be harder to, you know, sort of accommodate.
Yeah.
If I don't make the effort, then you know, my friends may well feel, hey, shy lah, don't impose on Joe, right? So I have to make the offer. So I have to make a conscious effort, you know, to set aside time. And when the kids were younger, because, you know, you can only sort of like bring everyone together during school holidays, right?
Yes.
I used to be quite disciplined about it. I would, you know, after every school holiday where we have spent some time together, I will immediately plan for the next one. I will find, you know, in the month of June, what is the 1 week that daddy's available, I'm available, you know, and the kids,
All the kids are available.
going to be available. Then you got to chop it, you know, like 6 months in advance. And certain years, you know, like if they have a big year, you know, that they have got the school trip or whatever, you even have to chop it 9 months, 12 months ahead of time. Not very different now. What we want to do is makan, chit-chat, you know. Kids, when the kids were little, of course, play games and so on. It's like that. Yeah.
Are you really that organized about everything?
No,
Is
not
there like
anymore.
something that you are not
Step by
organized
step.
with? Like, is there something that ministers are not organized with? Because you all seem to like have
It
like
going
everything.
for you, you know,
Yeah.
like everything
the
is
PA
so.
knows the
If you
stuff,
if
the
you
team, the
look
teams,
inside my bag, then you will see it's not very organized.
the bag. But like in terms of your schedule, your time, everything's like really like sweet.
You
and, like,
see,
just organized.
because if you don't organize it, very difficult for your teammates to plan.
How many things does a minister do a day? Because it seems like you all are always in a rush.
Yeah, that part is right. Yeah, I say okay. Yeah,
No.
Order is a rush.
No, like in all my experiences, like there's always like a rush going on.
Yeah, there are more
Is that-
things to
is-
be done than there's time to do them.
Wow. Like it makes me feel guilty, for like, cause I see like the ministers are like hard at work and then like rushing to the next meeting and the next event, right? And then like after shoot, I'm just like chilling with my friends and then like, hey, wanna go zouk or something,
There will be some times that we are chilling with family lah. But just have to organize the time that you can chill with family.
Any tips on how to get organized with our schedules?
It does take effort. One thing I always try to do is that, if we can minimize travel time, if you can minimize travel time, actually you get to squeeze more in a day. But that requires planning.
We're talking about leisurely activities with your family. What are some things that you enjoy doing in the outdoors?
There's this outdoors. I'm a walking person. I like to walk. So
where's your favorite place to walk?
A lot of people meet me there already lah. So I must protect my privacy of my friends.
Okay. So maybe we don't review that. But you like to
But these are open places.
Yeah.
It's somewhere in the East Coast.
Somewhere in the East Coast.
I can say that way,
understand.
Yeah. I always go with my BFF.
So sweet.
Yes, it's our catch up, and BFF from the time we were, I think, 5 or 6 years old.
You guys really go way
5 or
back.
6 years, we go way, way, way back.
Well, and you're still keeping in touch until this day.
Have to try. It's so precious, right?
And you're talking about coming from a time where they did not have like internet, they did not have like cell phones.
That's why they're friends until now.
Maybe.
That's crazy. Okay, well you were mentioning that a lot of people have already spotted you in public and things like that. So how do you normally react to all these kind of things? Do they come up to you to like, oh hi Minister Teo, can I have a photo with you? Or like things like that?
There are different kinds.
Okay.
There are some that they look at you, and they look at you, and they say, 你是那个 I saw you on TV before. You are the newscaster, right? Newscaster. So I smile at them and say, I'm the newscaster. Okay, yeah, sure. I'm the newscaster. So not everyone can immediately
point out who you are.
Yeah, they cannot. They may take a couple of minutes or maybe seconds to draw the link. Some immediately spot you already, and I think Singaporeans are generally very friendly, and generally also very polite. So they'll smile. And then they are quite very high EQ one. They will also see who you are with.
Okay.
They see that, hey, you're also busy, you're also walking like us. So then just wave and then carry on walking.
Do they come up to you to like stop you and take photos?
Have.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Okay.
Really?
Okay. As long as it doesn't take too long.
Okay.
It depends on who I'm with.
Okay.
I mean, if I'm all alone, I'm very happy to oblige.
Okay.
But sometimes, if I end up jamming other people, then that's not so nice lah.
Yeah.
Speaking of like taking photos in public, I'm sure Denise and
Wait, I want to ask,
Yes,
do they
as
ask
well.
you for things?
Huh?
Do they ask you
What
for
thing?
things?
They ask
Like
you for
requests?
things.
No, for me, I'm sure it's just photo or autograph lah. But because, do they like make any requests or do they like complain
Have.
about things?
Have lah.
Do
Yeah.
they like, I haven't gotten my HDB yet, can you please give me one or something?
Wow.
Any
Start
strange-
already.
She wants to.
I'm just kidding. But has there been like any strange like personal requests from people who have come up to you?
No, like I say, most Singaporeans are very polite, especially during SG50 and some, special occasions. You'll be amazed, there are people who have made gifts and then they have found the opportunity to present it to you. I have, for example, a little ornament. It's a beadwork of the Singapore flag. That was done by one of my residents, and during SG50, she really took the trouble to come to one of the events and say, I want you to have it. Because I'm so proud to be a Singaporean. I really love my country. So every National Day, if I have a chance to wear that, I will.
Wow.
They're very nice and wonderful people in Singapore, honestly speaking.
So if we try to spot in like the National Day parade, if we see you, you probably have that on your wrist.
Yes, yeah.
Well, I think if the resident who presented it to you sees that on TV,
She'll be so happy.
They'll be so happy.
She did put in a lot of effort, and then I feel very touched. Yeah, I'm just lucky to be on the receiving end of her her enthusiasm and her joy about being Singaporean. I mean, I'm not special, but the fact that she chose to share her love for Singapore with me, I think is something that I treasure when I meet families with children who have met me when they were younger. And then the parents will tell me, oh, sister, you remember on such and such a day, on such and such an occasion, the daughter now walking or standing, running already, and say, oh, she was in a
little baby.
You took picture with her and so on. And I think it's good. 很有人情味啊. It's wonderful to see families grow, to see that the children are doing well. And of course, inevitably, when you recognize the residents, occasionally you also hear of significant events in their life that are, that you can also feel sad about. You may feel very sad about it, but then that's an opportunity then to say, really, is there something I can do to help? Sometimes there is, and we're happy to follow up.
So I hope that answers your question, Jianhao.
Yeah.
Jianhao also gets a lot of people, coming up to you, asking for photos and so on, right?
Yeah. It happens quite often. But I think it's easier
You're
for me.
even more recognizable, definitely.
Yeah, but I think it's easier for me because I think as a minister, you have things that you have to uphold, right? For an influencer, I think I can just You know what I mean? Like if someone catch me on a bad day, no, I would never turn down anyone. I would never turn down anyone. But if someone catches me on a busy time or if I'm with family, then I would just be like, okay.
Okay. Understand that.
Right.
Yeah. Understand that. But one small thing to consider really, because if we turn the tables around, right, I will remind myself that hey, this may be number 8 or 22 for you today, the request that you're responding to. But for that person, that's still number 1.
Yeah.
It's such his or her first.
That's such a nice approach.
Try to Yeah. And Jianhao, for you sure also they also see, wow, so lucky.
Yeah.
I bumped into Jianhao today leh. So flash your sunniest smile.
Yeah, I see Jianhao almost every day. My flex. No, I'm just kidding.
But you also introvert, is it, like me?
I'm an extreme introvert.
Serious?
I wouldn't think you're an
You don't
introvert,
believe that I'm an introvert?
I believe. I at this point I can believe anyone is an introvert.
Yeah, I am an introvert.
Me too.
Yeah.
I believe Denise
You
is
see that
also
connection? You see that
Me
connection?
too.
Oh yeah, Denise also. Denise.
I think I'm the only
Extreme
E out of everybody here.
Introverts very happy to be alone in the room, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Between party on the beach versus stroll by the lake. I anytime take stroll by the lake.
and I love enjoying people's silence.
Yeah. It's true.
I love being in the same room and like just staring at someone awkwardly, and then like we can look at each other or we don't look at each other. It's fine. But, like as long as like there's no sound, there doesn't need to be sound. Like at times when you're in a room with people, you feel the need to
Obligated
constantly
to talk to them, right?
and make it not awkward. I love it when I'm in the car with someone, and maybe it's a bit of a weird thing. But we just don't talk.
It's just the company,
cool.
but it's like in
It's alright.
silence.
Like it's not awkward for me.
Yeah.
I'm actually a certified trainer in this thing called the Myers-Briggs type indicator.
Oh wow.
Which
So
sort
it's
of,
like when people take their personality test and you can like approve
correct.
that, is it?
well, no, not approve. I can interpret the results. I can understand it.
Wow.
So introversion and extroversion is like that. It's where you process your energy, process the information. So for introverts, a lot of the information is processed inside. If you're interacting with an introvert, you kind of sometimes may feel that this person very very stuck up.
I think that's how like most introverts seem.
Does it happen to you?
It
Denise?
happens to me all the time.
Just because they're like relatively quiet, they think a lot.
And got problem also for those of us in public life. Because processing information takes energy, right?
yes.
So when the energy is used up processing the information, especially if it's complex information, right? What happens to your facial expression? You become deadpan, right?
Yeah.
You become no expression.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for me, when I have no expression, I actually look very fierce. It's not that an introvert is incapable of extroverting. It just takes a lot more energy.
It does. It does.
It
I feel
does.
like I'm talking to a therapist right now. I feel like
Well, speaking of, having people come up to you for requests, we have prepared a very special segment for Minister Teo today.
Oh.
And basically what happened was that we posted a questionnaire, or Jianhao posted a questionnaire on his Instagram to see whether the public audience had any questions for you.
Oh, yo.
actually I got a lot of questions.
Yeah, he
Really?
personally has
I
a lot of questions.
Carry on.
We'll give them a
Yeah,
chance
but
first.
let's give the
One-
audience
one
a
question
chance
first.
to have their questions answered. Okay, so are you ready?
Okay, I try my best.
Okay, Travis. The first one is, what's a superhero power that you would like to have as minister?
Wow, superhero power.
Yes.
Oh, that one easy. I want to be at many places at the same time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Then I
think-
can interact with a lot more people.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
Jianhao.
Makes
You
sense.
also
Clone yourself,
clone
right?
yourself.
something like that.
Extreme productivity,
And you-
optimize productivity.
Optimization.
And everyone is energized, you know.
We have actually a lot of questions, but I'm just going to nitpick on like the very interesting
No, ask
ones.
this one. Ask this one. You have to ask this one. Number
Okay, maybe how would you?
two.
Would
Okay,
you?
okay. No. I have my own question.
Oh, you have your own question. Which one would you want me to ask?
Ask number two.
Number two. Number two is, what are your thoughts on younger people getting into politics?
Very good. Must
Very
have.
good. Must have.
Yeah, the country's future depends on young people.
Mm.
And actually, the fact that young people are prepared to step forward is to be encouraged. Is a positive thing. You care enough that you want to do something about it. But I should just add, there are also young people contributing, not necessarily in politics. They are contributing in volunteer activities. It's not politics, but they are trying to improve.
Positive impact.
Yeah, they make a positive impact. That's really very good.
Yeah.
You should encourage them.
So if you guys are looking to get into politics, even at a very young age,
Sure,
please.
very
You think-
welcome.
You
Email
think
me.
I can do it? Like,
Of course.
be a minister someday.
Oh, hard to say one, this kind of thing. All depends on your citizens.
Depends on my what?
Your citizens.
Oh, my
People,
citizens.
yeah.
Oh, they have to choose me, right?
Yeah.
It's a democracy, you know.
You can't
Right.
choose yourself, my dear.
Oh, I
You have
cannot
to-
nominate myself.
You can put yourself out there.
Okay.
He's thinking about it. He's thinking about it.
Sure, can.
Okay, the next one I think is a very interesting one, which is, what do you think your toughest decision has been as minister?
You remember in 2020, there's this huge problem with recession.
Yes.
Everybody very scared about losing their jobs. So at the time, one of the tough things we had to ask is this: if a company came to the ministry and says, I don't want to let my workers go, but I have a lot spare, too many, can I be allowed to moderate their salaries? So at the time, we have to give some guidance. And what is the right thing to do? Is it better for the business to close shop and everybody has no job? Or is it better for everybody to pull together, tighten our belts? And most of us still will be able to stay in the job.
Yeah.
So, but for the government to be able to say that this is the time to tighten our belts, not everybody will agree. Not everybody will feel that, hey, why do you let the companies take advantage of us? Because not every company is doing badly too. So we have to make it very clear. Only if the company is under severe threat, okay, and wants to cut costs in order to save jobs, we should be willing to support it, but you must do it in a responsible way. You must do it in a way that is also transparent to your employees, and you don't just secretly cut their pay and then you didn't tell them about it.
Yeah.
You have to have a proper way to deal with it.
Yeah.
That was at that time, I think, very
Tricky.
it makes you feel very heart-wrenching because people depend on a paycheck
Yeah.
to support their families.
It affects many, many lives,
Yeah.
this one decision.
Correct. And that was
there's so much
that was
stress.
the one that I really lose sleep lah. Yeah.
So the next question that we have, right, is from an audience member that asks, why is bubblegum banned and can we unban it?
Oh,
Answer for you.
bubblegum.
No, we can't unban it.
Why? Why?
You want to unban it?
How old are you?
I am 20.
29.
29. 29. How are you?
I'm 29.
29. Denise?
28.
Okay.
Yeah,
That means when the year it was banned, you are not born yet, you know.
Yeah. So we lived our whole life
Lives,
without
yeah.
bubble gum.
And
so
we are
we don't
fine.
need it.
What year was it banned? It was banned 1992.
Oh, okay.
1992, right? You're born 93
Yes.
or 94, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So do you know what happened that caused the bubblegum to be banned?
Oh, there's a story.
There is a story.
I mean, there has to be a story in order for the law to be,
See?
in
She's-
place.
Yeah, I think she got some useful tips for you.
Yeah.
If you are interested
Please
in
share.
politics,
Please share.
she said that
I have my
got
work cut
logic
out for
on.
me.
Yeah. So what
yes.
happened was that I think sometime in 91, you know, at that time Singapore just have MRT. It's hard for us to imagine, right? So at that time, I was a student, very excited, you know, that MRT to school, very
Fast and efficient.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Very proud, right? So, but what happened was that one particular occasion, the MRT doors couldn't close properly, and then the whole system couldn't move. And why couldn't the MRT doors close properly? Chewing gum.
Was stuck.
Yep. Somebody walking in or out of the MRT stuck the chewing gum
Right at the
right
ledge.
at the ledge of the
Okay.
door, and the door refused to close properly. As a result, MRT got stuck.
I feel like there's more of a door problem than a chewing gum.
No, but you see, because you're too young to remember what it was like, where you have gum stuck on your shoes.
I've actually never had gum stuck on my
Never
shoes.
had
I did. 'Cause
Oh,
I
really?
live
Oh, you
overseas.
lived overseas.
Amanda and
But
and
my
Denise.
family did tell me that it was bad in the sense that the gum will be stuck onto the elevator buttons.
Yeah. People were just taking gum everywhere, essentially.
And then, can you imagine you stand up and then you find that your skirt has got certain parts, you know, with bubble gum stuck on it.
oh, yeah, that's
those
not very
those,
pleasant.
those were the things that happened in the past. So
Think about how you have to clean under your tables, guys.
it's
Oh,
true.
yeah.
It's true.
I can think of a lot of other things I would ban.
Wow, why?
Beside chewing gum.
Fierce, huh, you?
That's what would happen if Jian Hao became
I will
minister.
rule with an iron fist.
Okay. All right. Take it easy, huh?
Even the minister asking you to
Yeah,
calm
yeah,
down,
yeah.
man. Okay, maybe we'll tackle our last question for today,
Sure.
which is, will there be a bigger market for content producers and influencers in future?
For sure. I remember last year when I visited, you guys were telling me that of a substantial share of your followers are actually from outside Singapore, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And my guess is that it has grown even more.
Yes, it has.
Exactly.
Yeah, over the past year, it has grown even more.
You know, so actually we have a program.
Uh-huh.
We have a program that is offered by IMDA to provide training and mentorship to content creators.
Wow.
Yeah, there's definitely talent, and this talent can gain acceptance. You know, not just within the Singapore market, but also outside. And yeah, we welcome that.
Do you follow them on Instagram? Do you like
Not
sometimes
all.
see like what are these like young people up to?
Yeah. Every now and then, Every now and then, there are quite a few of our influencers, you know, and so on. And
What kind of impression do they give you? Like the Singapore influencer scene?
to be very honest, you know, last time when I was younger, we don't understand when people say, "Hey, got generation gap, right?" Then now I feel it also. Yeah, because the things that make you all laugh, the things that you find very interesting. For example, I know that for young people like to buy skins, right? Your avatars, you dress them up and
yes.
so on.
For
And-
gaming.
for gaming.
Yes.
And that, you know, that this is, you know, between buying an outfit, a skin on a game versus buying an outfit in real life, not every of the younger generation likes the real item. They actually may prefer buying the skin, right? Yeah, this is not something that a lot of folks in my generation can quite get. Talking to some young parents, they also tell me when the kids ask for presents, the presents is no longer necessarily physical items. It's what they can spend online. You
Oh,
know,
yeah, I
in-game
remember.
purchases and so on.
Yeah, there was one time we were like giving each other like Mobile Legends skins.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you have it.
And then there was also earlier this year we were giving each other NFTs for our birthdays.
So I learned something interesting, So I was talking to this particular parent.
Yes.
And so he said he also can't understand it. He's not that old. He's only in his 30s.
Okay.
Then he said, but his son only wants the to buy, in-game items.
In-game purchases.
In-game purchases. So he asked son, why? Then what he learned is this. Because his son cares about his image online. Yeah, what the fellow gamers see him in. See him as.
It's like a flex online.
Yes, so in fact, his identity online is more important than his identity in the physical world for that stage of his life. Quite interesting. How about you?
Who's giving me the?
I mean, as a content creator, my online presence is very important to me, and how I portray myself to other people online. So I would say, my it's almost an extension of myself, my online image. So I have to take care of it. I can't post too ugly photos. I have to curate an image.
Yes.
Got ugly photos, man?
I
Don't
have
lah.
when I wake up.
Amanda and Denise also don't have.
No, I have a lot.
so many.
You check. All you have to do is just check my husband's phone. He intentionally takes the worst photos of me out of love.
Wow.
But it's okay.
On the note of the minister thing, like what made you decide to be a minister? Like how do you go about? I mean,
He's asking because he wants to be a minister.
No, don't get me wrong. I'm genuinely curious.
I never in my entire life thought that I will firstly be so deeply involved in politics.
Right.
Never.
Upon our conversation, I wouldn't think that you are a minister based on just talking.
Right.
Because you are, I think you have a lot of empathy. You are quite humble. So how does anybody even go to become a minister?
I think in Singapore.
Like, how does it happen?
I think in Singapore quite interesting lah. Quite interesting. You know the party that I belong to, right?
Of course.
Yeah. So this party takes it upon itself to look for people that they believe,
Potential.
have an interest to serve
Okay.
Singaporeans. So purposely make an effort to look for people lah. So then ask me to go for drink tea lah, like that lah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I heard about it. It's called a tea party or
A
something
tea
like
session.
that. A tea session.
We
tea
don't
party.
actually party.
No partying.
No party.
Drinking tea.
Yeah. No, I think it's really just to get to know each other lah. Yeah.
Okay.
That's
So-
so interesting.
Just step by step lah.
Yeah.
Step by step. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Most important thing, I think, in Singapore, we continue to have this emphasis on service. So that to me is what we value. That's the most important thing. Must have the heart to serve.
But it's so interesting,
Interesting,
to
it's interesting.
understand that perspective of things, because like for
Because we're just YouTubers,
Yeah,
right?
from
So
the-
we're like a completely
You're
different
not
world,
just
right?
We're in our own
YouTubers. Yeah, you have influence. You have the ability to encourage people to positive
create
about
positive
it.
impact.
That's right. So whenever I used to go backpacking, that's with my ex-boyfriend lah, now my husband lah. So when we used to travel, I think it's a I wouldn't call it an occupational hazard, but it is a common topic between the two of us. We are always very curious, very interested to understand how come the situation in Singapore is so much more fortunate than some of these places that we visit. We don't have any natural resources. We ourselves are not very special, right? No special powers, no superhero powers. We are very ordinary citizens, just trying, our best to be hardworking, look after each other. So how is it that we are, we find ourselves in Singapore having a very different set of, conditions, to live in, compared to these other people that we meet
Indeed.
on our travels?
Have you come up with a theory or an answer to that? Maybe is it because we're small?
I think small actually can be very problematic
Oh.
because you don't have a lot of resources. And actually, small, sometimes in the whole wide world, who are you all? Not everybody is interested in what we do. We have to, we have to be credible. Why should you be interested in someone coming from Singapore? So the fact that, when people know that you are from Singapore, that they think positively about you, even without knowing you as a person, that's not a given. Yeah. To answer your question, is that there is no secret formula. Sounds very cliche, sounds very National Day song. United. Being united is not a small thing, It's really very, very valuable.
Yep, I agree.
Support each other.
Definitely.
Huh?
Yes.
Okay, so you
That's
are
a great way to end this podcast.
you are getting
Okay.
ready to write
His speech.
Yeah, he's getting ready to
Send a draft to you.
Yeah.
sure. Welcome.
Okay, so no more questions, yes?
No more.
No more. Okay, with that, we have come to the end of our podcast and getting to know Minister Josephine Teo. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Minister, for
Amanda. Thank you,
answering
Denise.
our
Thanks for
very
coming.
strange
Thank
questions.
you, Jianhao.
Thank you.
Yes, and we actually have one more podcast coming up after
Okay.
this, and we are talking about the online safety bill later
Yes.
on. But until then, if you guys have any more questions for Minister Josephine Teo, do let us know in the comment section down below. And that's it, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.